From the News Channel 5 Network, this is SportsLine.
Hey there, SportsLine on your television. Steve Layman here with you. Glad you are here with us on this Monday night on News Channel 5. Plus, a much better effort from the Titans this week in their preseason game. A 27-14 victor over the St. Louis Rams last night at the newly renamed Nissan Stadium. Marcus Mariota, impressive again from the start. Battled through a malfunctioning headset on the opening drive, avoided catastrophe there. 5 of 8 on the night, showed off some legs, showed an accurate arm. Probably should have had an even better night than 5 for 8 if it wasn't for a drop or two in there. Ran the offense pretty well. They didn't do a great job of converting in the red zone, but got some points on the board. Zach Mettenberger looked sharp again in his second preseason game of action. This team was up 20-0 at the half. The defense, first team defense, came out. What did we ask for after what they did in Atlanta? We wanted a quick start and for them to frankly look competent with the first team defense on the field, and that's what they did last night. Ultimately, there were a couple hiccups with the reserves in the second half, but a very impressive 27-14 win as the Titans even up their preseason record at 1-1. They go to Kansas City now on Friday night, which makes this a very interesting week. Normally, the third preseason game is treated very much like a regular season game. You go through the same process of preparation with a Wednesday, quote-unquote, practice, a Thursday, quote-unquote, practice, and a Friday practice, just like you would during the regular season. And then you go into the game on day 5 of the week, whatever day that is to your preseason game. You treat it just like a normal game plan. You get everybody ready to go. You go out there, you let the starters play a half. You go in, make some halftime adjustments, and you bring the starters back for a series into the second half before you pull them. That's kind of the way the third game normally goes. I don't think that's how you're going to see it go this week for the Titans, though, because today was a day off coming off the Sunday night game. Tomorrow they're going to come in and get to work. Wednesday they've got a full practice. Then Thursday they fly to Kansas City, and Friday night they play. This is pretty much almost like if you had a Thursday night game during the regular season. And so with that quick turnaround, I don't think you're going to see the Titans starters play into the second half on Friday night. I know for a fact they're not going to game plan this like you maybe normally would for a third preseason game. It's going to be a very basic skeleton game plan again. Ken Wisenhunt said he didn't think that really mattered a whole lot for these guys going into the regular season, so it's all about how you get the most work out of this week, how you keep guys healthy, and make sure you walk away from Friday night's game at Arrowhead Stadium healthy as well. So it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out, but perhaps not the barometer that you see sometimes with that third preseason game this year. We can get plenty of your thoughts on what you saw from the Titans with that win last night. Marcus Mariota's performance. How about the run game? Bishop Sankey had 15 total yards rushing on 8 carries in that game in Atlanta. He had 18 yards on his first pop last night. Offensive line, new look offensive line, by the way, with Byron Bell left guard and Jeremiah Potassi, the rookie at right tackle. They came out with some fight last night. They were nasty off the ball, pushed the Rams back, and that's a good St. Louis front. Titans looked like a team ready to play last night, and that is certainly an encouraging sign. Not sure you're going to get that effort all the time from this offensive line. I'm not sure you're going to get that type of effort from this running game, but it was good to see it. And we continue to see the quarterbacks and these wide receivers make some plays on this team. And so far, it looks like the front seven holding up a bit on the defense. The question really in that secondary. And they played much better last night. Parrish Cox with a pick 6 early on in the game on Nick Foles to put the Titans up 7-0. Cody Sensabaugh continues to have a terrific training camp and preseason for the Titans. He's just hoped that Bleedy Ray Wilson comes back and can get into the mix sooner rather than later. And news today, by the way, Jason McCourty, who should be the team's #1 cornerback, had groin surgery earlier this morning. And this is kind of an interesting case because a couple weeks ago, first week of training camp, he was struggling with it a little bit. And the Titans told him, Jason, take a day off. Let's see if we can get this thing better. We don't need to hurry you along here. Let's just make sure we're good and get you back on the field. Well, a couple days went by and there was really no improvement. So then they said, okay, this is going to be a little bit longer of a thing. Probably missed the first preseason game, maybe 2, and we'll just see what happens. Well, there was just no progression throughout the rehab where he was feeling better. And so ultimately, late last week, they made the decision that it was best for him to go under the knife, have the surgery, and start the rehab process to get back. Now, normally these surgeries and the rehab is about a month. And if you go out a month from today, that means likely missing the first 2 games of the regular season at Tampa Bay and at Cleveland, which would be big losses to not have Jason McCourty there. McCourty himself and the Titans said, look, we're not going to rule him out by any means. He's been rehabbing all along through this. We think there's a shot he can come back, but a real possibility now that the Titans will be without certainly one of their starting cornerbacks, probably their #1 cornerback in Jason McCourty for that season opener in Tampa Bay. We're going to take our first break here, come back, more Titans talk, plus our final installment, at least of this year, of Lunch with Layman, presented by Springer Mountain Farms Fresh Chicken, the courageous story of former Titan Tim Shaw on this edition. We'll get to that more when we come back. You're watching SportsLine on News Channel 5+.